Are you interested in CryptoNight? Are you a miner, an investor, or just interested in the space? I've got some good information and good links for you. Stay tuned. So to steal a phrase from Seth Estrada, I'm not a developer, but I play one on YouTube. No. The reality is, I'm a miner and I'm an investor, just like most of you guys watching this video. I used to teach for a living, but now I enjoy showing people and sharing what I've learned with the community. I consider myself a miner first, and I've spent a considerable amount of my own personal money gearing my entire operation towards the CryptoNote algorithm. So some of the things that I do, some of the links that I follow, some of the websites I go to on a daily basis, that's what I want to share with you today. Reason being is because I've geared all of my operation to pretty much this one algorithm, or this one algorithm with the many different variants it now has, I need to keep track of what's going on in the space. If you're new to the channel, or this is the first time you've watched any of my videos, please hit that like button below right now. If this is the first time you've ever watched any of my videos on YouTube, please consider hitting the subscribe button. You have no idea how much it helps. Obviously, there's a lot of time involved in making these videos and the material that I give to you. So whatever you can do to support the channel, just a subscribe or a like, that helps out and goes a long way. So apart from your standard YouTube, Bitcoin talk, Discord, Facebook, Twitter, places where you get a bulk of information from social media, there's a lot of good valuable links in the CryptoNote space. I want to go through a couple of these with you. I've got a few here. If you're interested in the space, whether it be from a mining or an investment standpoint, or you're just new to cryptocurrency, there's a couple of these sites here that I want to go through with you. Some you've probably seen, some maybe you haven't, and nothing's very hard to find. This is all done by searching and happenstance, reading forums, and reading information that I found along the way. The first one that I want to go through is CryptoNote.org. CryptoNote.org talks about the technology surrounding CryptoNote, or what a lot of people call CryptoNight. A lot of good, useful information on this page. What the features, the developers' original thought process, and what they're trying to accomplish in the space. As you can see here, introduction to the CryptoNote team, join the community, their form, white paper, source code, and create your own coin. And there's been, at this point, quite a few different coins that have sprung from the original CryptoNote project. A lot of good information on this page. But if you look up at the top, CryptoNote Foundation, just like the Bitcoin Foundation, there is a CryptoNote Foundation. If you want to look into this and look how it's set up, find out more information, a lot of good, useful information within the links. Next one, Bitcoin Talk. Here's a good thread. There's actually a lot of good threads on bitcointalk.org. Now, just like anything else in life, you've got to take a lot of this stuff with a grain of salt. Some of it's not kept up with, some of it is, some of it's BS to start with. You got to weed through that stuff, and that's why everybody says you always need to do your own due diligence when it comes to investing and learning how to mine and everything else. But definitely a good resource, bitcointalk.org. Here's a good thread, and don't worry, I'm going to put all of these links below, so after you watch the video, after you hit the like button, you can go ahead and click on these links and further your own knowledge, or keep these links saved so you can go back to them at another time. All right, the next one. So if you're interested in mining, or you want to kind of look at different types of software that are out there for the CryptoNight, CryptoNote chain, or the chains, this is not a comprehensive list. I'm going to add some to this verbally in just a second, but these are kind of the big ones in the space, as it were, right now. XMR Stack, XMR Rig, Claymore's CryptoNote, and Cast XMR. And there are a couple more out there. Some of them I'm intentionally leaving off because unfortunately, over the past couple of months, there's been lots of forks and things like that, and some of the software packages have kind of fell behind. Cast XMR, XMR Stack, XMR Rig, and Claymore, they've really kind of kept up with everything. There's also AIO Miner. I'll put that link below as well. You can actually mine the coin through a GUI interface, kind of a neat setup. But as you scroll down through here, you can see a lot of good information as far as how to set up your miner. If you have any additional questions on mining, that's pretty much the primary bulk of what my channel does, is educational videos surrounding CryptoNote, CryptoNight, and how to mine. And like this video, discussion surrounding the technology. It's a good little breakdown of all the different software packages, as you can see. Some of this information, as I'm looking through here, is a little out of date, but this was one of the first websites that I went to kind of learn the different software packages and kind of gain a little bit more knowledge and a little more understanding of the space before I decided to kind of jump down into making YouTube videos and the stuff that I'm doing now. All right, next one. How to mine CryptoNote coins. This is a really good, neat website. If you've never seen it, it's minecryptonite.net, and this is the how to mine page. As you can see, it's got estimations of what kind of cards will do what kind of hash rates, and different miners, different CPUs. Explains a little bit, and this is why I like this website. It breaks down some of the more complex subjects and really easy to understand terminology. It's got little red negatives and green positives for people that may be new to the space, or again, learning how to mine. So the difference between solo or pool mining, which I'll talk about a little bit more in just a moment, but this is a really good website. Again, some of the information, not every one of these is 100% up to date, but as you can see, there's quite a few different coins on here that you can look at and get information from. Statistics, Block Explorer data, API data. Some really neat stuff here. All right, the next one. And this is one that, this is a good calculator, and I probably go to this particular website, I don't know, 3 or 4 times a day at least, just to keep track. If you've never seen it, it's CryptoNite.com. And this is basically, I believe they're missing 1 or 2 of the really new coins, but most of the stuff is here. Most of the coins on the CryptoNote, CryptoNight algorithms are here. Now, again, really, really neat website. And from what I've seen, again, grain of salt, most of these websites, but I have relied on this particular website pretty heavily because I found that the information is pretty close, pretty accurate in the grand scheme of things here. So when I'm mining a coin, based upon my hash rate, this is updated by API data, and it's pretty accurate, within probably 5% from what I've seen. Now, that obviously doesn't mean that it's 100% accurate 100% of the time, but from what I've seen, pretty interesting, pretty straightforward, and it's generally, hits a nail on the head. So I can keep track of what is the most profitable coin, which I do switch around from coin to coin. I don't have one particular project. I really like a lot of the different technologies on the CryptoNight chains. So I hop around a little bit. Graft or Stellite, ETN, Monero, Loki, Intense. So sometimes it's more profitable to switch your rigs over to a different coin, especially if you already have wallets for them, you believe in the projects. Some days you have an increase in hash power, for instance, and it might bring the profitability down for one particular coin. And it might be a smart thing to move your hash power over to another coin that you're interested in, at least for a brief period of time, while the profitability is a little bit higher. So, for instance, Graft, that's one that I'm interested in. Graft is for payment networks. I like Mazzari, Monero, coins like that, Intense Coin. But as you can see, if I'm looking at just a strictly daily profitability, or what's the most I can earn in a given day, I can see here, and again, this is usually pretty accurate. Not 100% of the time, but it is accurate. But let's say I was mining Electronium today, which I am. Profitability is pretty low. Right now, the hash power went up a lot. And unfortunately, when the hash power went up, if my hash power stays the same and the hash power on the network goes up, my profitability goes down. So as you can see, $8.07 if I'm looking at 15,000 kilohash, or 15 kilohash, 15,000 hash, versus $15.20 if I were mining Graft. So little tips like that can maximize your profitability. Maybe switching around if it's worth it to you. If you see that your coin is on a bad streak and you want to move over to something that you believe in as well, hey, maybe it's more profitable to switch your equipment around for a small period of time. But this is the website that I use. They've got a couple neat little features. This is just a little simulator. If you have X number of cards, it can show you what your approximate hash rate would be. Just a neat little tool. All right, next one. And this is kind of a big one, especially if you're looking for a good pool to mine to. So if you've never seen this one, this is Mining Pool Stats .stream, and this happens to be the Monero channel. Again, API data, it's basically a collector website, collects that data from these different pools and displays that in a pretty easy to understand format. As you can see, a lot of the CryptoNote chain coins here. See Electronium. You can see the different pools, and it does allow you to click through. So if we wanted to go to Mining Pool Hub, we could go there. Yeah, and it takes you directly to the basically get started page. If we wanted to go to Nanopool, takes you directly to the page. And you can see when I clicked on it, it was at 10.63. This is at 10.6 mega hash. So fairly accurate, up-to-the-date information. What I was saying earlier about solo mining versus pool mining, here's where you can draw the delta between the solo miners and the pool miners. You can see a significant difference between the actual network hash rate and the hash rate right here that is the aggregate of all these different pools put together. So you can see quite a bit of difference. What that tells me is possibly two things. There's pools out there that are not showing up in here, and there's also a significant amount of solo miners and or very large farms, and when I say large, I mean very large, to come up with an additional almost 80 mega hash on the CryptoNight algorithm. That is a ton of GPUs. And this particular coin, unless there's stuff we don't know about, Bitmain and our friends at Bitmain that make all these wonderful ASICs are doing something that we're not aware of right now, or they haven't publicized. These are all GPU miners. And that's, again, there could be some stuff going on behind the scenes that we don't know about. Large FPGA farms. Maybe we're not quite there yet, but there's a significant amount of hash rate here. Going back to the pools, let's look at Stellite for a minute. All right, going back to the pools. If you go to something like Monero and you look at the data here, all right, you see the delta there, but the main hash power on the network looks like Nanopool is got about 102 mega hashes. MineXMR.com, support XMR.com got 75 to 73 mega hashes respectively. You can see that all these are going to be really good pools. And here's a little pro tip here, guys. If you're mining to a pool with very little hash rate, it is going to take you, from a luck standpoint and from a probability standpoint, it's going to take you quite a bit of time. Not the normal, what you would assume to be normal block time, to find a block. And unfortunately, in most of these pools, you don't get paid unless the pool does. So you're not getting paid, but you're submitting hash power. And there's two ways to look at this. If you get on a larger pool that hits a larger amount of blocks per day, then one way to look at this is you're going to get a lot more blocks, a lot more smaller payments, just a small chunk of the prize. If you're on a smaller pool, then it's going to take a lot more time to hit a block, but when you actually hit the block, your reward is going to be a lot larger. From my experience, and this is just my experience because I've mined to very small pools on purpose to see the difference, and then I've mined to the largest pools that I could find, or the busiest pools that I could find. And generally, what I've found is a very, very small increase in the amount of coins per day, versus, on a large pool versus a small pool. And it depends on the type of coin. I can't give you 100%. If you mine this coin on this pool, you're going to have a larger payout. I just can't do that. I don't have a crystal ball, and I can't sit here and lie to you. What I can say is most of the time, if you find a better pool, a pool that's going to be hitting blocks on a more regular basis, the payments are obviously more consistent, and maybe you feel better about what you're doing because you see immediate payments. But I can also say on some of the smaller pools, when I've hit a block and there's only a couple of miners on there, or there's a low amount of hash power, the payout is much larger, and man, does that feel good when you hit a large payout. But again, going back here, this is just a great website for pool, aggregate pool data. All right, so if you haven't used this, and you're in the CryptoNight space, this is a great website to go to. Again, miningpoolstats.stream, great website. And the last one, and just about everybody's seen this. This is for the new folks out there, but CoinMarketCap.com, and just about everybody knows how to navigate this. If you're new, let's go ahead and talk about it. Let's put in Monero. All right, so you see your price. You can go to the different markets. These are all the different exchanges. You can go to the social page, and this gives you tweets and links to Reddit on most of your coins. You can go to the block explorers, the announcement page, which is usually bitcointalk.org again. And this, you can see the genesis, how long ago this was for Monero, when they originally started to talk about the Monero project. Website links, just really good data, the rank of the coin right here. But again, guys, this was supposed to be a really quick video. I didn't mean to stammer on too long, but just wanted to share with you my kind of daily routine of some of the websites that I check on a fairly regular basis, because I feel like they're very important as far as me being able to stay on top of what's going on apart from the social media pages out there. All right, guys, if you like the video, please hit that like button now. If this is your first time watching a video, hit the subscribe button for more content. Again, most of my channel is educational, with the occasional talk and discussions and interviews. But I'll leave all of these links down below. Thanks again for joining, and I will talk to you next time.